excitement is great. So thank you, everyone, for giving me a chance to stand and speak here. It's my privilege to speak on the TEDxJSSATE event. And well, it's my first TEDx event, and I'm a bit comfortable here in the speaking. So, well, I was I just got the theme few moments ago about the mind wide open. So, after knowing about it, I was totally amazed, and after seeing the excitement of you all, I've been totally from by heart, by the core of my heart. I'm feeling very great coming here. And that only makes me tick. That only makes me tick the excitement of yours, which makes me tick, because this thing only is what is needed. What is needed for the confidence, and what is needed for opening your mind. So, like they also said me to talk about myself. So I'll also talk about myself before, but I just want to go with the theme. So the thing is, so mind wide open. So what is mind wide open, and how can it occur? It can occur in many ways. So firstly, what about imagination? And imagination is dreaming, and dreaming is imagination and creativity. So this all is just like a cycle in which, so the creativity, the imagination, the dreaming, these all things are at their place in doing a lot of great things. So if we imagine, if we dream things, so in the ornithology, we came to know that at that time we can learn a lot of more things than we are doing at day. So imagination helps our mind grow, helps our mind being more creative in what is needed. Because when I was small also, I was very creative, not only by the fields of in studies, but in everything. I gave a lot of time in my sleep, in which I could do a lot of good things and new things. So new ideas came in my mind. So our minds are wide enough, but we can do it more by learning, by doing some processes. So these kind of things are just like so it's just like an exercise for mind, for brain. So mind's wide open. So growing our mind is a great thing. We can do it by imagination, by creativity, and that creativity can be grown in many ways. Like what I have done when I was small is, I give 10 to 12 hours to my sleep. So that was wide enough, so that was a long enough 10 to 12 hours of sleep in which I can do, I just went in a different world. So in there we can do a lot of good things that we can't do in reality. I've made some ideas like that, so I would share you main things. Like nowadays, my favorite subject is my favorite subject is quantum mechanics and quantum physics. And so a seventh grader, I'm 10 years old. Like that subject. So what you can do? Just imagine. So imagination is our threat, is our weapon. So by imagination, we can do a lot of great things. So what I thought, we know that we can't move in the speed of light. But I made something. Like if we can't move in the speed of light, so we can move with the speed of light. We can't move with the speed of light. But how? So that's a bit. So what it was, we can produce a lot of very powerful beam of light, on which by binding energy we can because that time I love to ride a skateboard, so that's why I just made my thinking like that. So with binding force we can bind a kind of with the binding force we can bind a kind of surfboard on it, and with a lot of beam pressure it will go and move with the photons. So that's just like these kind of things are a bit different from the normal thing, and if we see like on the nuclear reactors, then electrons go till the speed of 9.99 the 99% of the speed of light, so this much. So that is enough, and this can lead to time travel, teleportation, and many other things. So at the time we can think that what we can't think it now. But how we can do this? Because at that time our mind is totally concentrating in one thing, and that concentration is very important. And we can't. And in the normal day life, we can't meet that concentration. And we can't gain that because of the many other things. Like in the real life, what do? That's too distracting for that. So, and the ornithologists, what do we say? The people who, the scientists who research on the dreams and how they occur, how do they help? So, in this, so dreaming is a great thread. After dreaming, our imaginations, creativity, and all these things can boom. And see, so dreaming can be in two ways. So suppose, if we can change the world and we can be the world. We can change the world, by doing some inventions. Like at that time when there was nothing, Thomas Alva Edison thought about the light bulb. A quantum world. So that was just that was totally different. We can't imagine it now at the primary stage. And at that time they did it. But how? By imagination. And by imagination, by dreaming, they can make impossible things possible. Because you must have heard that impossible is also I am possible. So, like this way, so how we can carve out reality? By changing some inventions, like at the time I'm loving quantum mechanics, quantum physics. So at that time when I would be large enough, so I could do some great things. That indeed, in my thought, in your thinking, you can do some great things in your field. So that so carving out reality is the first thing. And how you can carve out? By doing some great inventions, by thinking, and the primary stage of it is thinking different than normal. You should be different than reality. Then you can create the reality, not be the reality. Suppose if you want to be the reality, so suppose there's a lottery. In a lottery, you get a chance of about 0 point something, you have a chance to win it. And that's also a dream, but you're being the reality and you're depending on it. But suppose if you create something, then you can change the reality. After the invention of light bulb, many things like what we can't imagine happened. And some new ideas. So these kind of ideas are grown only and only when we think, when we imagine it. And that imagination is totally different from the normal reality. And that only makes us a bit more better. We can say better. But see, so many people, if you think, then many people did an experiment. Like Albert Einstein, I want to talk about Albert Einstein and what he did. He knew about ornithology, and he said that what I think at the night time when I sleep. He took short naps. So at the time, what he think that was totally different. And at that time, he just put a spoon in his hand, and just when he was living in his dreams, so the spoon fell and a noise came, which totally awakens him, and so that new ideas helped him grow. That only gave the thought of a neutrino, of a graviton, of a gluon, so these kind of new things came out of that. But I also did an experiment like this, but that was not. Firstly, as I'm a big sleeper, I sleep a lot, so that it didn't affect me. So I said to Mama that she would just help me to not fall asleep. But that didn't make me that much good that what I thought, and the results didn't go that well because we didn't meant to it. We should live in our dreams. And at the time we'll live in our dreams, then we can carve out the reality. And if we carve out the reality, it's a big thing. It's an amazing thing to carving out reality and make something different from the normal world. That won't only be helpful to you, but it will do some great things that would be totally amazing. And so living in dreams makes your mind wide open. Another thing, when you do, so everything in the world has gone with a change. First there was Stone Age, then Industrial Age, and now it's a digital age. And maybe, we're making quantum computers, so maybe there can be different age like quantum age. We can't think about that, but that can happen. So these kind of things have overgone a change, and that change is due to people, is due to us, is due to our imagination. So if we live in our dreams, we can do something that we can't do at our normal stage. And at that time, so what we call, so it's a big cycle. and over and over. It's a big cycle which is moving and gone. One thing which is imagination. Imagination, creativity. So these all things are different, so which can make us a bit different and which can make our mind grow. And so one another thing is that like in our brain, so we don't use our brain. So how we can use it? We by scientists, they've also said that Albert Einstein, these kind of great scientists, have just used till 8 to 9% of their brain at the most. And a normal person who has a daily job and doing a lot of hard work does 2 to 3%. But how we can increase it? Because our mind is not being used. So we use our mind in different ways, and how it can be used. Like firstly, what we think is we use our mind. A normal person with a daily job, what he does the same thing every day. So the mind is not that much use. So the mind is not in normal usage, and that's just like not an exercise of mind. So like when we exercise, we don't even do one exercise. We do hundreds of exercises. We do tens of exercises which make us body grow in every way. So we should do an overall development, and that overall development can happen when we go for it. When we go for different things. When we take different small things and then do. So we should dream, and another thing like dare to dream. What was the organizers gave me this term dare to dream. Like you have to speak on this. So what is dare to dream actually? Like many people doesn't dare to dream. So that's a bit confusing. So how? So like suppose dare to dream doesn't mean like you would be daring in dream. Like suppose lottery or make your luck. Because in this you are being reality. So if you dare to dream, so dreaming is something different. Dreaming is not just depending on your luck. And suppose in a dream I think that I'm making a film and I'm doing social things. But dreaming is what that makes you not asleep. That is the real dreaming. What APJ Abdul Kalam sir has said in a quote, that dreams dreams are not that makes you sleep, but dreams are that doesn't let you sleep. On the day we can do a lot of great things. So we have to fall in that dreams, and we have to live in that dreams. And after taking the idea of that, we can do a lot of great things. Like in my daily routine, I give after sleeping, after doing work, I give half an hour or 15 minutes to my thinking. I don't do anything. I just don't do anything. I remain on my bed and just think. Think about anything that comes in my mind, whether it is not related, but I think. Because that thinking in a normal daily routine, we don't think. Think on subject. Think differently. Like quantum particles. So these kind of things, we have gone in a different way. So like we feel, we don't see. Like classical physics, quantum physics. So these are overgoing a change, and that change is due to imagination. So minds can grow when we when we imagine things, when we learn things, and that learning and that imagining can be done only and only when we live in our dreams. So that's just like a totally new world. So why do we follow dreams? So that was also what I was reading in the newspaper. Like we dreams because there is a need of them. If we do in our daily night, so some people don't dream, but why do they occur? Because there's a need of dreaming. In that dreaming, so what our daily, so what we think, what we see. So after these things go, and we just think about them in a different way. So one thing I want to talk about myself, because that is also important, as they said. So in this, so what I did, like I was 5 years old. So I came on TV when I was 5 years old. So in the vacations, in summer vacations, I did my whole thing. So how did I did it? So like we have a personal school. My father owns it. And he ran the school. I was also studying in it. So in the summer vacation, there was an activity given to every person that you have to do atlas. You have to do an atlas and learn many things about it. So my grandfather gave it. Then my father said that I can also do it, that he can also do it as I was small. So what was the teaching methodology, because everything should be different, like when we imagine, so it should be in a different level, it should undergo on a different level, the projection of plan, so it should undergo in a change will occur, then only we'll catch up it in a different way. So I started with the universe. That's why nowadays also my favorite thing is universe, particle physics, quantum physics, and everything. And the universe I go, so it is my favorite. I started with the universe, then on Earth, then our on the map, then on our solar system, then on our country, then our state, then on the district. So I went from the top to beneath. When I was small, I learned a normal speaking when I was in the at the age of 5 only. I learned speaking. At the time, I didn't know the languages. And I just learned it in 12 days, like speaking Hindi and English. I just learned it in 12 days. So at the time, I never knew all the names of the alphabets, all the names of when we were small, you do small things like the name of vegetables, the names of fruits. And now also, I swear that I don't know what do we say gobi in Hindi, what do we say gobi in English. So that's just so I never go on that. So I did it what I like. I did it what I feel that I can do, what I can do better, or what I can do different than the normal stage, than the normal world. So that was the difference. Like you should do it. And one thing that there's a thing that I feel in my parents that should be applied to everybody is like my parents never said that it is not of your level. If I ask some questions that was totally different on my age, that was suppose regarding world, so many people say that you can't understand it, so don't do it. But my parents answered it. So that at the time I was just like an empty box. So there was need to fill it. But if we fill it by normal things, then the space for creativeness, then the space for imagination doesn't. The space is not it is totally filled, and we don't get a space that we can create in, that we can do it in. So first thing is that you should live in your dreams, and this only thing. So you should go for it. Just take an activity. If you live in your dreams, you can do something very, very great that you can't do in your normal stage. So please live in your dreams, and dare to dream is the best word. Like if you dare to dream, then you would be daring, and many of you are. So you should carve out your reality, not be the reality. And so you can do many things, and in these, so I wish you all that after hearing this session, or after hearing many better sessions, because this is my first chance, maybe I'm not that much good, but I think that my voice is going to your ears, and you're just thinking about it. So maybe you'll think about it. So just go with these things, live in your dreams, and don't be the reality. Carve out from the reality. And if you'll do that, if one time you'll do that, you will be extraordinary. Every one of you is extraordinary. Everyone, no one. So many people say that I'm not, that you are God gifted. See, like people say that without the permission of God, even a leaf can't, एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिल सकता भगवान की मर्जी के बिना. But if we think that a coming of a person is a bigger thing. So everybody is a gift of God, and saying that I am the gift of God, I never think about that, because everybody is the gift of God. But the thing is, to make the brain pungent, to make the brain sharp, you have to sharpen it, you have to polish it. And that can happen when you imagine new things, when you do the things in a different way, in a better way. That would be much better. Just apply it in your daily routine, apply it in your life, then you'll see, then the outcomes of it will be totally great, and that outcome will make you extraordinary. I say that you are extraordinary now also, but that will make you a better one. So this will help you a lot. So from my side, these were the words. So so I want to say something a bit more. So things that I want to say is live in your dreams. Don't be the reality. If you'll be the if you'll be, don't be the reality. Like you should not be the reality. You should change the reality. And if you change the reality, you'll gain the success. You'll gain everything that you need, and you'll. So I'll give you a short example that would be a bit more easier than it. So that's a bit confusing and complicating. So this thing. So suppose there's one battery and two battery. There are two batteries. So the first battery is like there's a small battery in which it can light up a normal LED bulb, and the second battery can light up the whole city. So it's a big battery. So 99% of people, a lot of people, use the first battery because they don't go for the second battery. Why don't they go for the second battery? Because they think that what I will do with it. What will be the outcome of it? So, but 1%, what is the remaining 1% will take the second battery, which would be a much bigger, which will make a big outcomes. And that second battery, and the person that will use the second battery would just like be Albert Einstein, or they'll gain such a success in their life that they'll not need anything. And so these kind of things makes you tick. These kind of things motivates you. So imagination is the key to success. You should imagine, that will grow your mind. And our theme is also so this TEDxJSSATE theme is dependent on the thing imagination, because mind will only and only grow open. Mind will grow. Minds will grow then only and only when you will think different from the normal world. And that thinking can be gained only and only by imagining new things, only and only by dreaming new things. So these kind of things, these things were totally, like in the summarize, I told you. So these things were only in my sessions. I wish that there could be, I wish that I can, any other day, and I'll be with you, that I can do a much more better and some more things. So some more things I'll make you. So that you just take these few things, and if you take like in this whole session, if you like there are a lot of speakers, and if you take only one thing out of them, if you take only one thing out of the whole thing, then I swear that you will be very, very. Then you'll gain a lot of success in your life. You have to just take one thing. You don't need to take everything. You don't need to take 100 things. You just take one thing. Just one thing is needed to grow. If you will have a moral of one thing, then only you can easily gain success. Not you have to take thousands of things. So this was all. So thank you everyone to giving me time. So thank you everyone.